Hi friends, Zach Grant here, making a video in spite of the fact that, well, I think this sort of thing was kind of appealing at the start of the pandemic. Now, a couple years in, I think we've mostly lost the taste for this kind of a vlog thing. I want to talk about interruptions. And I've got some kids. Yes, this is a super cute baby. Yes, she is eating a graham cracker. Mind your own business about it. And there are a couple different versions of this video, and you guys are now getting the one where I have a baby as a kind of a object lesson. How you doing there? At any rate, I've got kids, and they clearly, Zach, super informative video, and they constantly interrupt. And so at church, not so much this one, but the two 5-year-olds are constantly running around, and they are making noise, and they're hugging me, or they're making, trouble, attacking one another. And occasionally they'll come up to me, they'll just ask me questions, non-church related questions. It's kind of messy, but it's who we are as a family, and I think it's also who we are as a church family. So the last time that we were gathered together, we were about to dismiss everyone, and James, my 5-year-old, he interrupts, and he wants to offer a prayer. So as a person that is leading worship, this makes me nervous, but as a father, my heart grows really big, and I of course say, yeah, let's do it. And so he offers this prayer, and it's great, and it's one of the things that has been keeping me going this week, and I think it's one of the things that certainly I remember from this past week at church. So there was another interruption at our church. There are lots of interruptions, and our friend Lucy, who lived here in Tampa and then had to move to Brooksville, she wants to offer a song. So we're all checking in together, and she wants to play a song on her guitar. And so we take some time, not knowing how long the song is going to be, and she plays. And it's great, and it's one of the things that I'm thinking about this week. And I don't know how everybody else in the church felt about Lucy offering a song in the middle of the service. I think it was like an Elvis song. It was "Love Me Tender." But I don't want to be in a church that doesn't make space for Lucy. I want to be in a church where that can happen. Somebody offers up their gift or their perspective, and it's not what we have planned, but we make space for it. It feels like the way that Jesus would want things. I was working as a chaplain at the Ark of Hunterdon County, and a client wanted to get connected to a faith community. And sorry, just little interruptions. We're moving from graham crackers to egg. So anyway, I'm working at the Ark of Hunterdon County, and I'm working as a chaplain. And this woman, she wanted to get connected to a faith community, and there was some connection to this Unitarian Universalist community. And so this woman, who is mostly nonverbal but communicates with a variety of vocalizations, and a support staff person and me, we find ourselves on a couple Sundays going to this Unitarian church out there, kind of in a rural area. And so we're going to that congregation, and I've got a good sense of Unitarian Universalists, but I'll say, as a Christian, it was a little strange to me from the way I worship. So We were in New Jersey, and this is like the most New Jersey thing ever. The text that they were using was Bruce Springsteen lyrics. So we were listening to a sermon that I think was based on the lyrics of Born to Run or something. And this woman, she starts making these noises, and the staff person who knew her very well says, I think that she wants to go. There was something that she was thinking about back home that was going on. She was afraid to miss it. So we're there for a while. We start realizing that this is what she's expressing. And so we get our things together and we get up to go. And the minister stops in the middle of his sermon, and he stops everything. And he says, please don't go. And in his mind, he's thinking that we are anxious about being an interruption. And so he wants to make sure and very tenderly expressed to us that we are not a distraction. Please stay. And, you know, I don't know what I thought about this sermon series based on the lyrics of The Boss. But I never forgot the way that he stopped everything and just made us feel welcome. And I thought that looked a lot like how Jesus would respond in that situation. And I've known some Christian churches who could learn a thing about Jesus from those Unitarians. Interruptions are hard to deal with. They can be somewhat difficult. But I think that there's something important to learn about Jesus in the way that we deal with them. I think about the story of Capernaum and the way that Jesus responds to the 4 friends who dig a hole in the roof to get their paralyzed friend in front of Jesus because they couldn't get past the crowd. And Jesus doesn't ask them to wait in line, let these other people who got here first get here before me. Jesus doesn't chew them out for the destruction of property or the distraction. I'm sure that they were, as they're, I'm sure it took them some time to get through that ceiling. No, Jesus gives them the time of day, and Jesus allows for some interruptions because there's something important that these interruptions have for us. Maybe especially in the way that they interrupt business as usual. My kids are a distraction to me in worship, but it wouldn't be good news if we had a whole church full of kids who were muzzled, who couldn't offer up any of their kidness to the church. Someone interjecting an impromptu Elvis song into the middle of our service isn't what I had planned, but I don't want to be in a church that doesn't make space for Lucy. She's just, I'm giving her things and she is just throwing them now, which is wonderful. One of the big problems, though, is I don't know if people really like being interrupted. In fact, I'm sure I know that they don't. When things get awkward or chaotic enough with any organization, people stop going to that organization. We are trying to be a church that is intentionally inclusive and supportive of the leadership of folks with disabilities. And one of the reasons that is a thing is because people with disabilities can sometimes bring awkward or interruptive elements to their relationships in ways that make it so that they're often left out of leadership. They're left out of community. They're left out of relationship. So, what do? I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out. And I think that it has something to do with transformation. Jesus has this life and this ministry with all these sorts of people who are out there on the margins because they make the respectable elements of society feel kind of uncomfortable. they don't fit. And I think that Jesus' ministry, in a large sense, was about transformation, and I think that that transformation in some ways is for any of us, but also I think that churches often think that it's about transforming awkward people so that they fit with the thing that we are doing. And I think what is really going on, though, is that God wants to use all of these people who seem awkward or like a distraction, and wants to use them to transform churches, transform us, into communities that can accommodate and absorb all the different awkward and interruptive parts of life. Wants to transform churches into communities that can accommodate and absorb all the different sorts of interruptions, and thereby all the sorts of people that God has made so diverse according to his good and lovely plan. So I'm praying for transformation for the church today, and I'm praying for the courage to make space for interruptions. Thanks.